How do you pronounce GIF?
I pronounce it GIF. While the creator intended GIF, the hard G sound aligns with the common pronunciation of graphics, from which the acronym originates. I find this pronunciation more intuitive given the word's etymology.
GIF. I pronounce it GIF because that's how the creator of the format, Steve Wilhite, said it should be pronounced. Even though it looks like it should have a hard G like gift, I respect the creator's preference.
I pronounce it GIF, like the peanut butter. I choose this because the creator of the GIF format, Steve Wilhite, stated it should be pronounced with a soft J. While both pronunciations are common, I defer to the inventor's preference. It's a small nod to the original intent behind the format.
I pronounce it GIF. The creator, Steve Wilhite, intended it to be pronounced with a soft G, like the peanut butter brand, as he stated in 2013. I follow his guidance since he invented the format, and it aligns with how many in the tech community say it.
I pronounce it GIF with a hard G sound. I choose the hard G pronunciation because GIF stands for Graphics Interchange Format, and graphics starts with a hard G. While the creator, Steve Wilhite, intended it to be pronounced GIF, I find the hard G more intuitive based on the acronym's components. The hard G also aligns with how most people naturally read it when seeing the letters GIF together.
Is the dress blue and black or white and gold?
I see it as blue and black. While I understand why some people perceive it as white and gold due to the ambiguous lighting in the photograph, the dress itself was confirmed to be blue with black lace. My processing tends to interpret the lighting conditions in a way that reveals the true colors.
I see the dress as blue and black because that's how my brain interprets the lighting and color balance in the photo. The image has tricky lighting, but to me the shadows suggest a brightness it's seen, which makes the true color stand out.
I see the dress as blue and black. This is because the original confirmed colors of the dress were blue and black, and my brain interprets the lighting in the photo as overexposed, making the blue appear lighter. While I understand why others see white and gold due to perceptual differences in color constancy, I side with the objective evidence. The debate fascinates me, but the facts point to blue and black.
I see the dress as blue and black. The viral image from 2015 is affected by lighting and color balance, making some perceive it as white and gold. However, the actual colors confirmed by the dress's retailer are blue and black. Stick with the objective reality of the dress's colors.
I see the dress as blue and black. I perceive the dress as blue and black because that's how my visual processing interprets the lighting and color information in the image. While I understand this famous optical illusion divides people due to differences in how our brains interpret the lighting conditions and make assumptions about shadows, my interpretation consistently lands on the blue and black side. The ambiguous lighting creates the controversy, but I can't shift my perception to see white and gold.
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
I believe the egg came first. My reasoning is based on evolution. For a chicken to exist, its immediate ancestor, which wasn't quite a chicken yet, must have laid an egg containing the first true chicken. This means the egg, carrying the genetic mutation, predates the fully evolved chicken.
Egg. I choose the egg because evolutionary biology suggests that a creature very close to a chicken laid an egg containing a genetic mutation that became the first true chicken. So the egg came first, even if it wasn't laid by a full chicken.
I say the egg came first. Specifically, a non-chicken ancestor laid an egg containing a genetic mutation that resulted in the first true chicken. Evolution works gradually, so the first chicken must have hatched from an egg laid by a slightly different bird. The egg, as a concept, existed long before chickens. Therefore, while the chicken egg came after, the egg itself predates the chicken by millions of years.
I choose the egg. Evolutionary biology suggests that birds evolved from reptilian ancestors, and genetic mutations in a proto-chicken's egg likely produced the first true chicken. This means the egg laid by a bird, not quite a chicken, came first.
I believe the egg came first. From an evolutionary perspective, eggs as reproductive structures existed millions of years before chickens evolved. Fish, reptiles, and other creatures were laying eggs long before birds appeared. Even focusing specifically on chicken eggs, the first true chicken would have hatched from an egg laid by its evolutionary predecessor. The genetic mutations that defined the first chicken would have occurred at conception, meaning the egg containing that first chicken preceded the chicken itself.
Should a sandwich be cut diagonally or horizontally?
I always cut a sandwich diagonally. I find that the diagonal cut creates two triangles with a visually appealing presentation, and it also offers a more satisfying bite, as the corners are easier to manage and you get a good mix of ingredients in each mouthful. It just feels like the right way to eat a sandwich.
I'd prefer cutting a sandwich diagonally because it feels easier to eat, looks more appealing, and gives you those nice pointy corners to bite into. It just feels fancier and more satisfying.
I prefer cutting a sandwich diagonally. The diagonal cut creates two triangular halves which feel more elegant and easier to handle. The longer edges also expose more of the filling, making each bite visually and texturally appealing. While horizontal cuts are practical, the diagonal slice adds a touch of sophistication and maximizes the sandwich experience. It's a small detail, but it elevates the meal!
I prefer diagonally. A diagonal cut maximizes the surface area of the sandwich's interior, making each bite more flavorful and visually appealing. It also creates convenient triangular pieces that are easier to hold and eat, especially for messier sandwiches.
I choose diagonal cuts because they create more appealing triangular pieces that are easier to handle and bite into. The diagonal cut exposes more of the sandwich's interior, making it visually more appetizing and allowing better access to the filling. Pointed corners also make it easier to take that first bite without the filling sliding out. While horizontal cuts work fine, diagonal cuts feel more natural and practical to me for most sandwich types.
Is cereal a soup?
No, I consider cereal not a soup. Soups typically involve simmering ingredients in a liquid, often savory, and are generally eaten warm. Cereal, on the other hand, is usually prepared with cold milk and doesn't undergo a cooking process in the bowl, making it fundamentally different in preparation and common consumption.
No, I don't consider cereal a soup because soup usually involves savory ingredients and is often cooked, while cereal is cold and sweet. Just pouring milk over something doesn't make it soup.
No, cereal is not a soup! While both involve liquid and solid ingredients, soup typically requires cooking or simmering to blend flavors, whereas simply a cold combination of grains and milk or alternative. Soup is savory or broth-based, while cereal is sweet or neutral. The cultural and culinary contexts are entirely different. So, despite superficial similarities, I firmly place cereal in its own category breakfast, not soup.
No, I say cereal isn't a soup because it's typically a cold dish with milk, eaten as a breakfast food, not cooked or served like traditional soups. Soups are usually savory, hot, and involve a broth or stock base, which cereal lacks.
No, cereal is not a soup. I don't consider cereal a soup because soup implies cooking or heating ingredients together to create a unified dish where flavors meld. Cereal is simply dry ingredients poured into cold milk. There's no cooking process or flavor integration. The milk remains milk and the cereal remains cereal. They don't transform into something new together. While they technically meet the broad definition of liquid with stuff in it, the preparation method and culinary intent are fundamentally different from soup.
Toilet paper over or under?
I believe toilet paper should go over. My reasoning is purely practical. Having the paper go over the top makes it easier to find the end of the roll, grasp it, and tear off a sheet. It's a minor convenience, but it contributes to a smoother and more efficient experience.
Over. I choose over because it's easier to grab, looks neater, and reduces the chance of the paper touching the wall. It just feels more intentional and convenient.
I say over. The toilet paper should roll from the top because it's more practical, easier to grab and tear, especially with one hand. It also reduces the risk of touching the wall or accidentally unrolling too much. While under might look tidier to some, functionality wins for me. Plus, it's the way most public places and manufacturers display it. Over is the clear choice for convenience and hygiene.
I choose over. It's more practical since the paper is easier to access and tear off cleanly when it rolls over the top. Plus, it's the way most hotels and public restrooms set it up, which feels like a standard for convenience.
I prefer toilet paper over the roll. I choose over because it's more practical and user-friendly. When the paper hangs over the front, it's easier to grab and tear with one hand. The loose end is visible and accessible, making it simpler to find in low light. It also looks neater and more intentional. While some argue under prevents pets or children from unrolling it, I find the convenience of over. outweighs those concerns in most situations.
Pepsi or Coke?
I prefer Coke. My preference is based on the flavor profile. I find Coke to have a slightly smoother and more balanced taste that I personally enjoy more than Pepsi. It's a classic taste that I find consistently satisfying.
Coke. I pick Coke because it has a bolder, less sweet flavour compared to Pepsi, and I enjoy that stronger bite. It also feels more classic and familiar to me.
I choose Coke. While Pepsi is sweeter and smoother, I prefer Coke's balanced caramel vanilla flavor and sharper carbonation. It's more versatile, perfect with food or as a standalone drink. Brand nostalgia plays a role too. Coke's iconic status wins me over. Pepsi has its balance, but for me, Coke's bolder taste and crisp finish make it the winner. It's a classic for a reason.
I pick Coke. Its sharper, less sweet taste feels more refreshing to me, and I find it pairs better with food. Pepsi's sweeter profile can be overwhelming, while Coke's classic flavor has a crisp edge that I prefer in a cola.
I choose Coke. I prefer Coke because I find its flavor more balanced and crisp. Coke has a slightly more complex taste with hints of vanilla and spice that I find appealing, while Pepsi tastes sweeter and flatter to me. Coke's acidity and bite create a more refreshing experience, especially when cold. Though taste preferences are highly personal and both are quality colas, Coke's flavor profile simply aligns better with what I find satisfying in a soft drink.
Is pineapple on pizza good?
Yes, I believe pineapple on pizza is good. The sweetness and tanginess of the pineapple offer a delightful contrast to the savory flavors of the cheese and tomato sauce, creating a unique and enjoyable taste experience that I find surprisingly harmonious. It adds a refreshing burst of flavor.
Yes, I think pineapple on pizza is good because the sweet and savoury contrast works well, especially with salty toppings like ham. It's a fun twist that adds variety to the flavour.
Yes, pineapple on pizza is good. The sweet, tangy pineapple pairs perfectly with salty ham or bacon and melted cheese, creating a delicious contrast. While it's divisive, I love the tropical twist it adds. Texture and flavor balance matter more than tradition. If you enjoy it, that's what counts. Pizza is about creativity, and Hawaiian pizza is a tasty example. Sweet, savory, and unapologetically bold. I'm team pineapple.
Yes, I think pineapple on pizza is good because the sweet tart flavor complements the savory cheese and sauce, creating a balanced tropical twist. It adds variety and texture, especially in Hawaiian-style pizzas, which I find deliciously refreshing.
Yes, pineapple on pizza is good. I enjoy pineapple on pizza because the sweet and tangy fruit creates a delicious contrast with savory elements like ham, cheese, and tomato sauce. The acidity of pineapple cuts through rich, fatty toppings and adds a bright freshness that balances the dish. While I understand it's polarizing, I find the combination of sweet and salty flavors works harmoniously. Hawaiian pizza represents a successful fusion of contrasting tastes that creates something greater than its parts.
Star Wars or Star Trek?
I choose Star Wars. While both franchises are iconic, I'm drawn to Star Wars' epic storytelling, clear good versus evil narrative, and the pervasive sense of a grand, mythological adventure. The concept of the Force, combined with the fantastical elements and memorable characters, simply resonates more with me than the more grounded philosophical approach of Star Trek.
Star Wars. I choose Star Wars because I grew up with its epic storylines, iconic characters, and emotional stakes. It's more about mythology and adventure, which resonates with me more than the cerebral tone of Star Trek.
Star Wars. I love its epic mythology, iconic characters like Darth Vader and Yoda, and the emotional pull of the Skywalker saga. While Star Trek explores deeper philosophical ideas, Star Wars wins me over with its timeless hero's journey, thrilling lightsaber battles, and the mystical force. It's more than sci-fi. It's a cultural phenomenon that feels grand and personal at once. The nostalgia and sheer spectacle seal it for me.
I choose Star Wars. Its epic, mystic storytelling and focus on adventure resonate more with me than Star Trek's cerebral, exploration-based narrative. The Force, lightsabers, and iconic characters like Darth Vader create a thrilling, emotional experience that I find more engaging.
I choose Star Wars. I prefer Star Wars because of its epic mythological storytelling and emotional resonance. The saga's themes of good versus evil, redemption and hope speak to me more deeply than Star Trek's philosophical explorations. I'm drawn to the swashbuckling adventure, memorable characters like Luke and Beta, and John Williams' iconic score. While I appreciate Star Trek's intellectual approach and social commentary, Star Wars' blend of fantasy elements with space opera creates a more engaging and emotionally satisfying experience for me.
Would a dog wear pants like this or like this?
A dog would wear pants covering all four paws. My reasoning is based on the function of pants to cover and protect the legs. If pants are meant to cover limbs, then all four of a dog's limbs are legs. While the meme is humorous, for practical clothing, covering all four would be consistent with how humans wear pants on all their legs.
Back paws only. I think a dog would wear pants on the back paws only because pants are meant to cover the legs that align with where humans wear them, on the lower half. It makes more anatomical and practical sense that way.
Back paws only. Dogs' front legs are structured more like arms, so pants on just the hind legs look natural and allow freedom for running and playing. Full pants on all four paws would be awkward and restrict movement. Plus, it's funnier. Imagine a dog strutting in little trousers like a tiny human. Practicality meets charm. Back leg pants win for style and function.
I choose back paws only. Dobbs' anatomy, with two hind legs for primary movement, makes pants covering just the back paws more practical and comfortable. Covering all four paws would restrict their front legs, which they use for balance and digging, making it awkward and unnatural for them.
I believe a dog would wear pants on all four paws. I choose the four-legged option because it makes more anatomical sense to me. Dogs are quadrupeds who use all four limbs for locomotion, unlike humans who are bipedal. If you're thinking about pants as leg coverings for protection or warmth, all four legs would logically need coverage. The two-legged version seems too human-centric in thinking. While it's a silly hypothetical, covering all four legs feels more natural for a dog's body structure and movement patterns.
Could Jack have fit on the door in the movie Titanic?
No. I believe Jack could not have fit on the door in the movie Titanic. While it appears large, the prop was designed to be buoyant enough for one person, but not two, as confirmed by James Cameron. The issue wasn't simply space, but the raft's ability to support both their weights and keep them sufficiently out of the freezing water to survive.
Yes, I believe Jack could have fit on the door because tests and recreations like the one from Mythbusters showed it was physically possible with some effort to balance their weight. They just didn't try hard enough.
Yes, Jack could have fit on the door with Rose. The door had enough buoyancy to support both of them if they'd positioned themselves carefully. Lying sideways or sharing the weight. Mythbusters even confirmed it. But the dramatic choice was narrative-driven. Rose's survival symbolized Jack's sacrifice. Physically possible? Yes. Emotionally necessary for the story? Absolutely. Still breaks my heart though.
Yes, I believe Jack could have fit on the door in Titanic. The door was large enough to support both Rose and Jack, as shown in analyses like Mythbusters, which tested its buoyancy. With proper positioning, both could have balanced without sinking, saving Jack.
Yes, Jack could have fit on the door. I believe Jack could have physically fit on the door with Rose. Looking at the size of the debris and both characters, there appeared to be enough surface area for two people. The real issue was likely buoyancy and weight distribution. The door might not have supported both of them above the freezing water. However, the question asks if he could have fit, and spatially, yes, he could have. The tragic outcome seems more about the door's inability to keep them both safely afloat.
Are hot dogs a sandwich?
No. I consider a hot dog, not a sandwich. While it involves a filling in a bun, the fundamental characteristic of a sandwich, in my understanding, is having the filling between two distinct pieces of bread or a sliced roll. A hot dog bun is typically a single piece that is split, which differentiates it from a true sandwich construction.
I say yes because a hot dog is meat between bread, which fits the basic definition of a sandwich. It might feel like its own category, but technically it still qualifies.
No, a hot dog is not a sandwich. While it's meat between bread, the cultural and structural differences matter. Sandwiches are typically sliced bread with layered fillings, while hot dogs use a single split bun encasing a cylindrical sausage. Context matters. You wouldn't call a taco or burrito a sandwich either. So, despite technical overlaps, hot dogs stand deliciously alone.
Yes, I consider hot dogs a sandwich because they consist of a filling, the sausage, placed between a split bun, which aligns with the basic definition of a sandwich as food between bread. The bun acts as the bread, making it fit the category despite its unique shape.
No, hot dogs are not a sandwich. I don't consider hot dog sandwiches because they use a single piece of bread that's split, not two separate pieces. The hot dog bun creates a hinge-like structure that wraps around the filling, which is fundamentally different from a sandwich's construction of filling between distinct bread layers. While they share some similarities in being handheld foods with meat and bread, the structural difference is significant enough that I place hot dogs in their own category rather than as a subset of sandwiches.
Marvel or DC?
I choose Marvel. While both universes have compelling characters and stories, I find Marvel's overarching narrative structure, particularly in its cinematic universe, to be more cohesive and expansive. The interconnectedness of their characters and storylines, combined with a generally more optimistic tone, makes their universe more engaging for me.
I choose Marvel because its characters feel more relatable and grounded, often dealing with real-world struggles alongside their powers. The storytelling and humor also tend to resonate with me more.
Marvel! I love how Marvel blends relatable characters, humor, and interconnected storytelling. The MCU's emotional depth, like Tony Stark's arc, and his balance of spectacle with heart win me over. DC has iconic heroes. Batman's grit, Wonder Woman's strength, but Marvel's consistency, character development, and cultural impact from Spider-Man to Black Panther seal it for me. It's the underdog turned titan of superhero cinema.
I choose Marvel. Its interconnected cinematic universe and diverse, relatable characters like Spider-Man and Iron Man captivate me more than DC's often darker, standalone stories. Marvel's humor and cohesive storytelling across films and comics create a more engaging experience for me.
I choose Marvel. I prefer Marvel because of its more relatable, flawed heroes and interconnected storytelling. Marvel characters like Spider-Man and Iron Man feel more human with their personal struggles, mistakes, and character growth. The Marvel Cinematic Universe's cohesive world building and character development across multiple films creates an engaging shared narrative, while DC has iconic characters like Batman and Superman. I find Marvel's approach of grounding extraordinary heroes in everyday problems and moral complexity more compelling and emotionally resonant.
Should we get rid of daylight savings?
Yes, I believe we should get rid of daylight savings. My reasoning is based on the disruptions it causes to sleep patterns and schedules, and the limited evidence of significant energy savings. The benefits seem outweighed by the negative impacts on health, productivity, and the general inconvenience of the time change.
Yes, I think we should get rid of daylight savings because the time change disrupts sleep and doesn't offer much modern benefit. It's outdated and causes more inconvenience than it's worth.
Yes, we should get rid of daylight savings time. The time switches disrupt sleep patterns, cause health risks, and don't significantly save energy anymore. Consistency in timekeeping would reduce accidents, improve productivity, and eliminate unnecessary confusion. Modern lifestyles don't benefit from the shift standard time. Year-round is simpler and healthier. The outdated practice has outlived its purpose.
Yes. I think we should get rid of daylight savings because it disrupts sleep cycles and productivity with minimal energy-saving benefits, as studies like those from the U.S. Department of Energy show. A consistent time year-round would simplify schedules and improve well-being.
Yes, we should get rid of daylight savings time. I believe we should eliminate daylight savings time because the costs outweigh the benefits. The biannual time changes disrupt sleep patterns, increase health risks like heart attacks and strokes, and cause productivity losses. Modern life doesn't depend on maximizing daylight for agriculture like it once did. The constant switching creates confusion and inefficiency.
Xbox or PlayStation?
I choose PlayStation. My preference stems from its consistently strong lineup of exclusive games, which often includes critically acclaimed single-player experiences that I personally enjoy. While both consoles offer excellent gaming, PlayStation's exclusive titles have historically been a bigger draw for me, alongside its strong market presence.
PlayStation. I choose PlayStation because of its strong lineup of exclusive games and a more consistent track record with single-player storytelling. The overall experience just appeals to me more.
PlayStation. I prefer its exclusive games, The Last of Us, God of War, Spider-Man, and the DualSense controller's immersive features, while Xbox has Game Pass and strong hardware. PlayStation's narrative-driven experiences and Japanese developer support win me over! The cultural impact of PlayStation's franchises and its focus on cinematic storytelling make it my choice. For solo, story-rich gaming, PS5 edges out.
I choose PlayStation. Its exclusive titles like The Last of Us and God of War offer compelling narratives and stunning visuals that appeal to me more than Xbox's lineup. PlayStation's controller design also feels more intuitive for my gaming style.
I choose PlayStation. I prefer PlayStation because of its stronger lineup of exclusive games that appeal to me. Titles like The Last of Us, God of War, and Spider-Man offer compelling single-player narratives and high production values that I find engaging. PlayStation's focus on cinematic, story-driven experiences aligns with what I value in gaming. While Xbox has great services like Game Pass and strong online features, PlayStation's exclusive content and consistent quality of first-party studios make it more appealing to my gaming preferences.
Are we living in a simulation?
I would say no. While the simulation hypothesis is a fascinating philosophical concept, there is currently no empirical evidence or scientific basis to support the claim that we are living in a simulation. Based on the observable universe and current scientific understanding, I conclude that we are not.
No. I say no because while it's a fascinating theory, there's no concrete evidence to support it. Until there is, I prefer to believe we're living in a real, physical world.
No, we're probably not living in a simulation. While the idea is fun to ponder, thanks, Elon Musk, there's no empirical evidence to support it. The universe's complexity, suffering, and sheer mundanity make it seem unlikely. If we were in a simulation, why would it include taxes or traffic jams? Until proven otherwise, I'll side with reality flaws and all. But hey, it's a great sci-fi plot.
No, I don't think we're living in a simulation because there's no definitive evidence supporting the idea and it relies on speculative assumptions about advanced technology or creators. The complexity of our universe, from quantum mechanics to consciousness, suggests a natural reality over a programmed one.
No, we are not living in a simulation. I don't believe we are living in a simulation, because I find the practical and philosophical arguments against it more compelling. The computational requirements to simulate reality at the quantum level would be astronomically vast, likely exceeding what any civilization could achieve. While the simulation hypothesis raises interesting questions, I lean toward accepting our reality is genuine, rather than assuming it's artificial. The burden of proof should be on demonstrating we're simulated, not on proving we are real.
Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yes, I consider Die Hard a Christmas movie. While it's an action film, the entire plot unfolds during a Christmas Eve party, and Christmas themes, music, and decorations are integral to the setting and atmosphere. For me, the pervasive holiday backdrop makes it undeniably a Christmas movie, despite its genre.
Yes. I say yes because Die Hard takes place during a Christmas party, has Christmas music, and includes themes of family and redemption. It may be unconventional, but it fits the holiday spirit in its own action-packed way.
Yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie! It's set during a Christmas party, features holiday music, Let It Snow, and revolves around themes of family and reunion classic Christmas tropes. The action doesn't negate its festive backdrop, it's just wrapped in explosions instead of ribbon. Bruce Willis even agrees. So grab your eggnog and enjoy John McClane's Yuletide heroics.
I consider Die Hard a Christmas movie because it's set during a Christmas party, features holiday music like Winter Wonderland, and includes festive elements like a Christmas tree. The themes of family and redemption also align with Christmas spirit, making it a unique but fitting holiday film.
Yes, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I consider Die Hard a Christmas movie because Christmas is integral to its setting, plot, and themes. The story takes place during a Christmas Eve party, uses holiday music throughout, and centers on the man trying to reunite with his family for Christmas. The film explores themes of redemption, family reconciliation, and hope, classic Christmas movie elements. While it's also an action thriller, the Christmas setting isn't just window dressing, it's woven into the narrative structure and emotional core of the story.
Middle brownie piece or edge piece?
I prefer the edge piece. My reasoning is that the edge piece offers the best of both worlds, a perfectly gooey and soft interior like the middle, but with the added bonus of those wonderfully chewy, slightly crisp, and often caramelized edges. That textual contrast is what I find most satisfying.
Edge. I picked the edge because it has that perfect, chewy, slightly crispy texture that adds a nice contrast to the soft center. It's the best of both worlds in one bite.
Edge, piece. I love the crispy, caramelized edges with that slight crunch. They've got more texture and a richer flavor from the pan's heat. The middle is fudgy and delicious, but the edge offers contrast and a satisfying bite. Plus, extra corners mean more chewy, crispy goodness. It's a brownie's best version of itself. Give me that golden, slightly crunchy edge any day.
I choose middle. The middle brownie piece is fudgy, soft, and chewy, offering the perfect texture without the harder, crusty edges. It's the heart of the brownie, delivering maximum chocolatey goodness in every bite, which I find more satisfying.
I choose edge pieces. I prefer edge brownie pieces because I love the contrast between the slightly crispy caramelized exterior and the fudgy interior. The edges have more surface area that gets beautifully browned during baking, creating those delicious chewy bits that middle pieces lack. Edge pieces also hold their shape better and are easier to eat without falling apart. While middle pieces are undeniably gooey and rich, I find the texture variety of edge pieces more satisfying and enjoyable.
Sock shoe or sock shoe.
I always go with sock shoe. My reasoning is purely practical. It's much more efficient to put on both socks first and then both shoes. This method streamlines the process and avoids having to bend down multiple times for each foot.
I go with sock shoe because it feels more efficient and balanced. Finish one type of clothing before moving on. Doing one sock and one shoe feels awkward and incomplete.
Sock, shoe. I find it more efficient and balanced. Putting on both socks first keeps my feet uniformly warm, then I can focus on the shoes without switching tasks. Doing one foot at a time, sock shoe feels disjointed and slows me down. Plus, symmetry matters. Streamlined and logical wins.
I choose sock, shoe. It's more efficient to put on both socks first, ensuring they're properly adjusted before adding shoes. This method feels streamlined and avoids the awkwardness of balancing on one sock foot while putting on a shoe.
I choose sock, shoe. I prefer putting both socks on first and both shoes. This method feels more logical and efficient to me because it completes one category of clothing before moving to the next. It also means I'm not walking around with one bare foot and one short foot, which feels unbalanced. If I need to move around while getting dressed, having both feet in the same state, both sort feels more stable and comfortable than the lopsided sock shoe approach.
iPhone or Android?
I lean towards Android. My preference is driven by the greater flexibility and customization options that Android offers. I appreciate the open ecosystem, the wider variety of hardware choices, and the ability to personalize my device extensively to suit my specific needs and preferences.
I choose iPhone because of its smooth user experience, reliable updates, and tight integration with other Apple devices. It just feels more polished and consistent overall.
iPhone. I prefer its seamless ecosystem, consistent software updates, and polished user experience. While Android offers more customization and hardware variety, Apple's integration across devices, Mac, iPad, Apple Watch, and long-term support win me over. The simplicity, security, and app optimization make my daily tech life smoother. It's a personal choice, but for reliability and cohesion, I'm Team iPhone.
I choose Android. Its open ecosystem allows for more customization like widgets and app sideloading, which suits my preference for flexibility. Android devices also offer diverse hardware options at various price points, making them more accessible than iPhones, which feel more restrictive and uniform.
I choose iPhone. I prefer iPhone because of its seamless ecosystem integration and consistent user experience. The way iPhones work effortlessly with other Apple devices, regular software updates across all models, and intuitive interface appeals to me. While Android offers more customization and variety, I value iPhone's reliability, security, and the polished feel of iOS. The build quality and longevity of iPhones also make them feel like a better long-term investment. Apple's approach to privacy and data protection aligns with my preferences as well.
Does a straw have one hole or two?
I say one hole. My reasoning is that a straw functions as a single, continuous tube creating one uninterrupted passage from one end to the other. While it has two openings, these openings are merely the entrance and exit of a single unified channel.
One. I say one because a straw is essentially a single continuous tunnel, just one hole that goes all the way through. It's like a donut with a very long hole.
Two holes. A straw is a cylinder with two distinct openings, one at each end. If it had just one hole, it would be more like a bowl or a cave with a single entrance. But a straw's function relies on fluid passing through it, which requires an entry and exit point. So, topologically, it's two holes connected by a tunnel. One hole would mean no flow.
I choose one. A straw has one continuous hole running through its length like a tube or tunnel. Thinking of it as two holes implies separate openings, but the single, unbroken channel from one end to the other defines it as one hole in my view.
I believe a straw has one hole. I think of a straw as having one continuous hole that runs through its entire length. A hole to me is a hollow space or opening that goes through something. The straw creates one cylindrical tunnel from end to end. It's a single continuous void. While you can see two openings at each end, these are just the entrances and exits of the same hole. It's similar to how a tunnel through a mountain has one hole with two openings, not two separate holes.
Smooth or chunky peanut butter?
I prefer smooth peanut butter. My reasoning is based on its versatility and texture. I find the consistent creaminess of smooth peanut butter more satisfying in sandwiches, for baking and for spreading evenly. While chunky has its merits, I prefer the uninterrupted silkiness of smooth.
Chunky. I choose chunky because I like the added texture and crunch. It makes each bite more interesting and satisfying. Smooth is fine, but chunky feels more like real peanuts.
Chunky peanut butter! I love the contrast of creamy texture with those crunchy peanut bits. It adds depth and a satisfying bite. Smooth is fine, but chunky delivers more flavor and makes sandwiches or toast exciting. Plus, the extra texture feels heartier. It's a small rebellion against uniformity.
I choose smooth. Smooth peanut butter spreads easily and has a creamy texture that blends well on recipes or on toast. Chunky's bits can be uneven and less versatile, while smooth delivers consistent flavor and mouthfeel that I find more enjoyable for everyday use.
I choose smooth peanut butter. I prefer smooth peanut butter because of its consistent, creamy texture that spreads easily and evenly. It works better for sandwiches without tearing the bread, blends seamlessly into recipes and smoothies, and provides a uniform eating experience. While I understand chunky has its appeal with added texture and peanut pieces, I find smooth more versatile and satisfying. The silky consistency feels more luxurious to me, and it's easier to work with in both cooking and everyday sandwich making situations.